Well, the two big qualifying rules for Medicaid are income and assets. Your assets have to be at a certain level, and your income has to be below a certain level.
Now, is that the same in every state, do you know, the income requirement?
Typically, the income and asset requirements can vary, but once again, they're done under the rules for Medicaid within conformity. So Medicaid is a 50-50 state and federal government-run program.
So, and then another question I have, would the income rules be the same for an individual, a single person, as opposed to a married couple? I would think that there would be some sort of difference there.
Well, there will be some differences, but what happens is that when typically you have a spouse that's at home, we call that person the community spouse.
Okay.
And we have a spouse that's in the nursing home. We call that the institutional spouse. The institutional spouse is not allowed to have more than a certain amount of money in their banking account. If that account balance goes up over the allowable limit, typically $2,000, Medicaid will send a letter of disqualification. So literally you can be in that nursing home for 2 or 3 years and one day find out you've been disqualified. Mm-hmm. So although you're on Medicaid, and to answer your question, the actions of the spouse do affect the other spouse.
Give us an example of that.
Well, for instance, if you're in the long-term care facility and the home spouse passes away first, you would think that the institutional spouse, the one needing the long-term care, would pass away. Not always. There's a heart attack, something. So what happens is if that institutional spouse, the patient, the Medicaid recipient, is still on the will and receives the home and all the assets, now they're off Medicaid.
Right.
So typically, the person going into the nursing home needs to be removed from the title and all the other things too. There's a lot of legal work for the attorneys to do on this.
So there are ways or strategies that a family can undertake and adopt to protect assets? To protect
That's what this is all about. Most attorneys and financial advisors are not aware of the potential of Medicaid planning to protect assets.
Mm. Yeah, I wasn't. That's why I'm here today, to learn about this.